Okay, we are live. StreamYard is telling me you are live. We've got quite a few people out there in the chat already talking it up. We are awaiting a guest today.
Yep. No,
Not
I
sure
told him
when.
it would be about 9:30 his time. On
Oh,
my
you did?
initial,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh,
Yep. So
perfect.
hopefully, yeah.
Told Earl
Earl
Baugh,
Baugh.
representing
Yep.
the Vintage Computer Festival Southeast,
Mm-hmm.
version 8.0, coming to
Yes.
Atlanta. I guess we
A couple of weeks.
2
Yeah.
weeks
2 weeks.
from
I want to
yesterday,
say 2 weeks. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
August 20th, I think. And so he'll be on a little bit later, give us a preview of that event. And let's see, John, you're wearing your
I'm
T-shirt,
wearing the
your
appropriate shirt
vintage. It's
from the
actually
very
it's
first
a
year we
vintage
went.
computer festival
That's right.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
What's the date on that? 2013? I can't make it out.
It is 2013. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So
Yeah, it
yeah,
makes
that
more
was
sense.
that. And of course we went to that one. Had a table. It was first year doing it, so it was good, but it felt kind of like a hobby sort of thing, as opposed to other than the of course the now the first year. Did they have the Apple Pop Up Museum already, or was that second year?
I think they did.
I'm trying to remember.
I think they did. Could have been the second year. I don't know. No, it had to have been that first year.
Yeah, I think it was the first year. Yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
they added on the second year, and they rearranged where
Mm-hmm.
the kind of the space for
Mm-hmm.
the fan tables were.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a great time. That was in that also. Was that the year Daniel Kotke was the
Was he the first year?
speaker?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
Either the first or second. Yeah, because
All
I
right.
think you only ever went to the first two, didn't you?
Sounds about right.
Okay,
If you say so. All right. Let's get on with the show. Okay.
sounds good.
All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 580 for August 8th, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
We were just reminiscing about Vintage Computer Festival Southeast 1.0, which both John and I attended. I think, we must have done a podcast. Is
We
that the
did.
year that we did
Yeah.
we did a
Yes.
session or something like that?
Yes,
And
we did it
recorded the
there. We
podcast on
recorded the podcast
stage.
there with the audience. Yes.
How many people do you have to have before you can call it an audience? I don't know if it was
Well,
that
I don't know if
widely
you
attended.
remember Night
There's a
After Night with
gathering.
Alan Havey, where it was the
Mhm.
audience of one. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. So one is good. Well, we definitely had
yes.
an audience then.
I don't know what
Definitely.
the singular for audience is.
Well,
Audii.
well, we only had one audience.
We
That's
only had one audience. Yes.
an audience of one. No, we had more than one. I don't know. There was a few people there. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are photos. We'll have to see. We got to dig up those photos. We're talking about VCF this week because VCF 8.0 Southeast is coming up in 2 weeks. And so later we're going to have Earl Baugh on representing the festival. Give us a rundown of the events. Encourage people to attend if you're able in the area. And what else we need to talk about? That'll be about it. We got eBay finds. We've got news. News is dominated by a big auction, not an eBay
Absolutely.
auction,
Yeah.
but a big auction of collectible stuff. Most of them bearing either the autographs of Steve Jobs or Steve Wozniak. Although I don't know if any of them have both. I think that'd be like the Holy Grail, right? If you had
Oh
something
my
signed by
gosh.
both of
Right.
them at the
Yeah.
same time.
At the same time, not years later. Yeah.
Right. That doesn't count. Anyway, so that's coming up later, and we'll be right back with eBay auctions.
I like Scarlet Swordfish's answer. It's
Mm-hmm.
an audience.
Audion,
If you've just got
yes.
a single, yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's get some auctions. I went to the narrow, the portrait field of view here, so you can see Steve is flying his kite back there in my background.
Ah, yes.
The rare apple kite.
I thought it looked a little bit different as opposed to like us being in Windows with the kind of icon.
Yeah, so you see more of the background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice.
All right, let's see. You ready?
I am.
In 3, 2, 1. I'm going to take a look at the eBay auctions from last week. There was the Claris the Dog Cow wristwatch. Claris the Dog Cow wristwatch sold. No, did not sell. Still available. Buy it now, $229 or 98 cents, or you can make an offer. Then the Macquarium. Now this one didn't come with the shell of a Mac, right? It was just the tank.
Yes.
Just the tank. Made out of glass, though. This one sold after 2 bids for $29.99.
Fantastic.
And then this rare, well, kind of a mystery. The title at least said first Apple server ever made, created by Frank Freeman, best friends of Steve Jobs. This one did not sell at the starting bid of $25,000, but it has been relisted for, what do you know, $25,000. All right, we will begin this week with this. What is that, John?
That is a Apple Macintosh SE Reloaded official Bear Logic board. This is being offered through Mac Effects.
Mm-hmm.
These look really, really cool. So it's an unpopulated SE replica board, red.
Yeah, and there were
awesome in a transparent case. Yes.
I guess there were 40 made, and there's 20 left, and they're selling them here through the eBay store. 100% of the proceeds, less selling costs, will go directly to the creator, Kai Robinson. These boards are authorized by the creator, and they make a perfect replacement for your battery-damaged logic board or upgrade for a really cool look inside one of our clear cases. That would look
I really hope
sharp,
Kai does the SC30 as well. You know?
Yeah. These are, buy it now, $49 a piece. And they ship from LaPorte, Indiana.
Which, I mean, really fantastic price for this. And it's so striking looking. Yeah. Even if you bought one of these and put it on the wall, like I've got the Apple One replica that was done years ago, it's still a really cool.
You can see here there's inscriptions there. Macintosh SE Reloaded on the back, board revision 1.5, and then the artist credits there on the back, recreated in Sprint Layout 6.0 by Kai Robinson. Special thanks. Especially gives thanks to the 68K MLA forums. So there, and so I wonder.
I like the quote on the bottom, on the very, very bottom. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Oh yeah.
I live, I die, I live again. Zombie SE. Brr.
Right. Yeah. So I guess they say limited production run. I guess of this particular instantiation on the red board or whatever. I wonder what your opportunities if you miss out on this.
Yeah.
Who else might be making them, or what versions might be available? But not a bad price, $49. Okay, let's move along to this. What do we got?
We have a entire wonderful starting collection of a vintage museum Apple Macintosh 128K with manuals, printer, floppy, original. This is the whole shebang. This is basically everything but the box it came in. Okay, you've got your 128K. You've got the now originally this had a plastic case for some of the stuff, didn't it? But I don't see that here. So I don't see the plastic case, but we do have the
Yeah.
box with a cassette, the floppies. You've got your keyboard, your mouse, your image writer. You've got the nice cloth bag, everything. So what's really nice about this auction is it must have started at a normal price. They're just going to let the auction, they're going to let the price find itself. So right now, this is only got 3 days left. It's got 5 bids. It's only at $215, which, if the person gets it for that, that is a steal. Now, shipping on this one, though, is going to be hefty. To us from Parker, Colorado, is $250 shipping, which means hopefully that they're also going to be packing this thing really well.
Yeah, hopefully
There's
they
a
don't
lot
just
of,
load the Mac
right.
in that carrying bag and
Yeah, they
attach a
have a
tag to it.
very very thorough description down here in the body of the thing. This crawl space find was part of a collection from a computer store owner. I have booted the computer to a question mark folder, but was unable to load an OS. As seen in the picture, a system disk is included, but it doesn't seem to work.
Hmm.
So yeah, who knows? It could be the disk if it's been sitting in a crawl space, or it could be
Hmm.
that
A drive.
the floppy drive mechanism is all gummed up. So
Hmm.
Apple Image
Hmm.
Writer printer is also included. The printer has an installed ribbon with both bottom and top trays included. It includes a detached cable, power cable, extra ribbon, open and untested. So yeah, the printer has been turned on
Yeah,
and
they ran a
printed
self
via the
test on it.
internal test. Yeah,
Hmm.
so pretty cool. They've actually got the breakdown of the serial number on it to show that this was produced the 22nd week of 1984. So
Hmm.
very thorough, very thorough. And if you scroll down, it does have a lot more pictures, top and bottom of the keyboard, top and bottom of the mouse, the test print on the image writer, which is amazing that that ink cartridge hasn't completely dried up. It also has an external 400K floppy with it. So
Hmm.
what else can we say? Oh, it also has the numeric pad. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
and there is a box for
really,
that
really
actually.
complete. This is
Yeah,
this is a great. This is going to be a great buy and find for somebody.
yeah. 3 days to go. Only up to $215.
Yeah.
This will be, gosh, you got to think it's going to go well over 1,000.
I think the only thing keeping it as low as it is that $250 shipping. Because like
Well,
right
I
now, whoever
mean,
buys it
yeah,
is in for 500 ish. Unless they happen to live near
right,
Parker, Colorado, and can arrange a pickup.
right. Yeah, I think it's unavoidable. You're going to have to spend a lot to ship all this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight here. Let's just hope that the seller is as good as they are with listing this as they are with packing and shipping.
Well,
All
this
this good stuff.
seller it has is looking at the history has
Mm-hmm.
151 other auctions that they've sold and 100%
Mm-hmm.
positive feedback. So that's a good
All right.
sign.
Good sign. But you never want to leave that to chance. Make sure you get in contact with the seller and
Right.
review what they plan to do. Double box, etc. With these plastics, right?
Well,
Okay.
looking at the
Yeah.
seller, I see other
Oh,
things that they're selling right now is including
yes.
a Apple Lisa 2
Okay.
and a Mac Plus. So
Oh,
obviously they've got experience with old Apple products. So
uh-huh.
that's another good sign. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And next, who couldn't use this to decorate their picnic table this summer? The Apple Computer tablecloth. Yes, it's a vintage Apple Computer tablecloth. Rainbow logo, Macintosh. Description says just good condition, keeping it in the house for a long time. Ships worldwide from Japan. One of these interesting Apple logoed items that probably was only offered up in Japan for some reason or another. The I don't know what the overall dimensions. Does it list the overall dimensions? I guess.
Just lost your audio.
Oh, you lost my audio. Here we
Oh,
go.
there you are.
There I am. All right. Um, so look at the pictures here. You got the tablecloth. It's kind of rectangular,
Actually, it's
and it's
square.
sports. Is it square? Is it square?
150
Maybe it is a
centimeters by
square.
150
Oh, it is
centimeters.
square. I guess it has an interesting placement of the Apple logos are at the corners. So I guess I don't know if the tablecloth is supposed to drape down, perhaps, and the Apple logos would kind of be along the edges of your table. But they
So
decided to
just
put it just on
for
two
everyone who
corners.
doesn't do centimeters, that's roughly 60 inches by 60 inches.
A little bit of staining there on the back. I don't know, a good cleaning and ironing, and I think this would shape up kind of nicely. What you think?
Yeah, this would be awesome if you had like a little table that you
Mm-hmm. A
you
display
know
table of stuff.
display some. Yeah.
Yeah. They want to buy it now, $99.99. Not too terribly bad. But yeah, this might be a great item here to, again, dress up your computer table. Let's see. This one does not have an
Oh, this is
end.
actually okay. So this is
Uh-huh.
actually shipping from Japan. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned
Yes.
that, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, there it is. And we'll see how it does next week. All right. Yes, that would be a good part. I don't know if it'll get here in time. It ships from Japan. Oh, next time. Yeah. Well, we're not. That's true. We're not. None of us are going to be there at VCF Southeast. John has to make priorities. He's got to
Well,
back to
of course,
back.
we're going up for Dragon Con at the end of the month, or first week of
The week.
September for
Oh,
Labor Day
okay.
weekend. So I do not want to drive up to Atlanta to then turn around 2 weeks later and drive up to Atlanta. I mean, I love Atlanta. That's where my friend Joe, Blondie Wan in the chat,
Mhm.
is, and but yeah, that's a lot of driving.
Mhm. All right. Well, we're a little early for Earl, so we can go. We can go to the news, right? We can do that. So why don't we do that?
Let's do that.
All right. You ready?
I am.
In 3, 2, 1. Just the one news story I wanted to cover this week because there's a lot to get into on this. There's a auction from RR Auction at rrauction.com with a large number of Apple related items and a few non-Apple related items, but some really cool things here, autographed items and such. Take a look at this. This one, the Steve Jobs inscribed and signed Apple II manual. Now, if you know your Steve Jobs history, you know that he rarely signed anything. He wasn't much for autographs, right? So finding an autograph, I mean, that's quite a score. Finding something that he hand wrote, an inscription or
Right.
whatever, even more so. Okay, and that's what we have here. We have an Apple II reference manual. So it is inscribed not just by Steve Jobs, but by Mike Markkula as well. And he writes, I guess it's Steve that wrote it. Yeah, it must be, right? So he says, Julian, your generation is the first to grow up with computers. Go change the world. Signed Stephen Jobs, 1980, and Mike Markkula, 1980.
That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I wonder what, if they were visiting a school, maybe, or something. I wonder what the circumstances were
Right.
here.
Right.
There isn't.
Yeah.
Does it have? I'm looking down here in the description. I don't see any other information about the story behind when this was signed. Oh, there it is, right there. Julian was a teenager at the time, son of entrepreneur Mike Brewer, who had negotiated exclusive distribution rights for Apple products in the UK and later became the first managing director of Apple Computer. Julian
Nice.
recalls, I was sitting in my bedroom writing games on my Apple II when Dad called me down to meet some guests. To my amazement, it was Steve Jobs and Mike Markkula. I had the manual with me and only later understood how rare it was for Jobs to sign anything, let alone to write an inscription like this. He got on well with Dad, so I feel the inscription was made with care. Wow. And then there's
Wow.
some
How
more
do you get
details up
rid
there.
of something like that? Gee whiz.
You get rid of it when you're going to get at least, well, they say minimum bid $2,500. I kind of think it's going to do much better than that.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes personalization, that's kind of can take a hit on value, right? If you're not the
Right.
person.
Sure. Unless you happen to be named Julian, in which
Yes.
case, golden.
Golden. So you got that. So if you're keeping track, you got the Steve Jobs signed program, which they want a minimum of 1,000 for this thing. And if my thing here would load, I could pull this up. It looks like a American Academy Achievement, and this one just bears his autograph. It was a banquet of the golden plate. So there were some honorees there. This was also signed by Herschel Walker, right? It's a football player.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Because I did not know.
Anyway, yeah, the 1982 Captains of Achievements, recipients of the Golden Plate Award. A little program. Never heard of that little event, but so you got that one. There's a signed type letter from Steve Jobs, right? This was kind of an interesting one because it was written May 11th, 1983 to M. Varon of Imperial Beach, California. And it says, "Dear Mr. M. Varon, I'm honored that you'd write, but I'm afraid I don't sign autographs. Sincerely," of course, signed Steve Jobs. Jobs. So kind of a famous joke, just super funny. I think that is way cooler than
that's cute. Yeah, I like that.
The Apple II manual, and yet this has a minimum bid of just $1,000. But that is just super funny. Plus, it's on Apple Computer letterhead. I think that's the best one right there. In fact, that should be made into T-shirts, right? You got a first issue of Macworld magazine signed. Now, this one's signed by Jobs and Woz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got both. And did they do it at the same time? Does it say that?
Definitely different pens. Looking at the signatures.
There is a story in there. A few years later, the person got it signed at an Apple trade show. Yes. So, but good story behind that. So there's lots of great details. Whenever you have these professional auctions, you're going to have all the good details you want.
Now, look at the that 7005. That's interesting.
The Steve Jobs and Jeff Raskin signed 128K Macintosh motherboard display. All right.
Wow.
So encased in plastic, you've got this motherboard just kind of suspended there. Custom built display. And of course signed by Steve Jobs and, quote, the father of the Macintosh, Jeff Raskin.
Yeah, you have to wonder if Jeff Raskin just really hated signing this thing, though. I mean, because this was not his Macintosh when all is said and done.
No, completely different.
But
still cool. Again, these weren't signed at the same time. The person got these signed separately. Once by Jobs in 1989, and then later by Raskin in the early 90s. So. Very cool there.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then the Steve Jobs business card. This one's cool. The personally owned and worn leather bomber jacket. You remember the photo? There's this great photo. I don't know if it's in the auction here, where there's I guess is he visiting in New York City or something? There's an IBM office building. Yeah. Right. And he's giving the middle finger to IBM. And he's wearing this actual jacket. That's what they're saying.
Wow.
Right?
You're gonna have to be a tiny person to fit into that jacket, I have to say.
$2,500, the
Not
minimum bid on that
a
one.
big guy.
Yeah. And a couple other miscellaneous items, signed by Jobs, a box of Next Step software, a Wings World Tour jacket that he wore probably once.
That
And then
Altair is pretty awesome.
Altair, he doesn't sign that one. I'm not sure. That's not
No,
really...
but still, starting bid of $500 for an Altair,
Yeah.
that's pretty
They
good.
say it's going to go over 3,000. Oh, I didn't mention some of the estimates. Some of these do have estimates. So, like that letter we mentioned, minimum bid 1,000. They estimate it's going to go over 10,000. That does.
Well, the
make
magazine
sense.
that's signed by Jobs and Woz, they're saying
$50,000.
$50,000.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wow, 50,000. I don't know, but here's a cool one, right? The Apple One. There is an Apple One
Always
in
cool,
here.
right?
Pretty complete, right? Keyboard, power supply, monitor, even cassette, and they've got a video of it operating. Lots and lots of detail about this particular model. Of course, there aren't a whole lot of these left in existence. I don't remember what the current count is, right? I think it's in the 70s or so. Minimum bid 50,000. The estimate on this could go over 450,000 on that one. There is an original Lisa. Okay. Awesome. An Apple II, an Apple IIc prototype, an early monitor by Sanyo. These are the kind of monitors that you would often use with an Apple II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Newton Message Pad 120, sort of an odd thing there. I don't know if there's any special version or anything like that. I'm not sure what the Busicom 141 circuit board is.
Right, that's
really
an
Apple
odd-looking
related.
board. Right.
There are some early mice from Douglas Engelbart. This is from Xerox Park, right? So those are cool, and just a lot of miscellaneous other items, and a lot of just Woz autograph stuff.
Sure,
right?
Sure, yeah.
A floppy 2 or Apple II floppy drive, another Apple manual.
I like the Apple One schematic signed by Woz.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
There is even the Apple One, of course, reproduction of the Apple One manual signed by Woz, which I have one somewhere.
Oh, and Ron Wayne.
This one has Ron Wayne's signature on it as well.
Yeah.
Which you can still get. I think you can get through his website. You can get the stuff signed. A baseball, a mouse, some variety of posters, and autograph books. A John Scully autograph book, Odyssey, right, about his Apple and Pepsi adventures. Yeah, and a couple other miscellaneous items that aren't even really Apple related. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm trying to see, is it clearly evident when this stuff goes? Yeah, opens August 12th. I'm not sure how long the bidding goes. Can't wait to see what these get. Right? What do you think? I mean, obviously, what the Apple One's got to run away
Apple
with
One,
this, right?
Yeah, obviously that's going to be the big one.
We should.
If you could, obviously, other than the Apple One, if you were going to pick one item on here, you're just like, I'm going to get that one item. What would you?
For me, I think forget value. Take value out of it, right? Because I'm not looking to flip this stuff and make money. I just want something that is.
We're talking just something that's.
I want something that is totally unique.
Yeah.
I'm going with that leather bomber jacket.
Right?
Because you know why? Because I want to recreate that photo, with me. Recreate the photo, do the IBM artwork.
That would be pretty awesome.
Middle pose, right? That would be worth it, right there. Anyway, what's your pick?
I would definitely pick the Logic board, signed by Raskin and Jobs. Yeah. And guess who has just popped up in our StreamYard? I see Earl's
Earl,
waving
he's
at
standing
us.
by.
So,
Oh, okay. All right.
Earl,
Well,
perfect timing, Earl.
all right. We're going to get with Earl. Of course, if you listen to the audio podcast, that has
That
already
is true.
happened. But
That has already
anyway,
happened. Yes.
okay.
Timey-wimey.
All right. Let's bring Earl in. There he is.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Earl!
I'm sitting up. You guys are in your spaceships or your computer rooms. I'm in my back porch.
Isn't it a little hot to be out on a port, or is it like a
Hopefully it's air conditioned.
semi-air conditioned?
Well, it's got a fan, but otherwise, it's
Okay,
it's
there you go.
it's still here, Georgia. We're not quite as hot as it is down there in Florida, so it's a little bit more reasonable here in the mornings.
All right, we're gonna I'm just gonna get into it, and I guess I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I don't know if that's coming through you, Earl. I don't know if you can drop your audio just a tad because I'm coming back through you. Is that possible?
Give me a second here.
Yeah. Test.
My system preferences up and turn my sound down.
Are you getting that, John?
Yeah, I was hearing it. Mm-hmm.
How about now?
Hello. I'm still there. Well, it's not.
It's
horrible.
okay. I mean, yeah.
I'll maybe if I talk softer.
Because Earl still needs to be able to hear us.
Yes, he does. That'd be helpful.
Either that, or we're all going to need markers and lots of paper.
All right.
I was just turning the input down, not the output, so I could hear you fine.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Let's go ahead and record in 3, 2, 1. We're joined by Earl Baugh, who's going to walk us through a little preview of Vintage Computer Festival Southeast 8.0, which is coming up.
I'm wearing my
And,
K-Fest suit.
You're wearing his K-Fest shirt. John is wearing his.
Nice.
Did you see John's shirt?
Yep.
You remember that
Vintage
one?
Computer.
Yep.
Yep.
Somewhere I have one too. Well, Vintage Computer Festival Southeast is back. It didn't happen last year, right? Is that right? Do I remember that correctly?
That's correct. We didn't get it. We had it all planned, so we're calling this release 1.0. So it was an update from last year.
Did that make things easier? Could you just dust it off and reboot it? Or I'm sure you had must have been some folks that couldn't make it this year, or new folks that wanted to come.
The events, everybody's exhibits changed completely, so that was all a complete set of a new set of organization.
Well, they should be that much better because they had a whole other year to work on.
That's right. But the other cool thing is you guys started having it with the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, and that was last year. Was supposed to be the first year they were going to do that, which is pretty darn awesome because that's an event that I also would go to before.
Yeah. Well, normally, on a good year, we've had 500. My year, I think 1,500 people show up at our show. This year, well, we kind of guaranteed 5,000 people because we're with Southern Fried Gaming Expo. They normally sell out, and they normally sell out about 5,000 passes. So,
Wow, that is something.
That's our big expectation this year. We're going to have a whole lot more people, and
right.
We're not sure how to handle that. I mean, in the sense of it's going to be a whole new experience. What's it like with that many people? So we're all looking forward. We're all excited about it, even though there's still some COVID concerns for everybody. Obviously,
yeah,
sure.
They added everybody's going to be masked, vaccinated or unvaccinated. So they decided to do that out of caution, which that's a reason.
Easy enough. Yeah,
easy
that
enough
makes
to
it
do.
simple.
Sure.
Simple rules, right?
Yeah, Dragon Con's going to be doing the same thing. It's just stay masked, which of course most people in cosplay are anyway. So yeah, no big deal.
Everybody's a doctor right this year.
Right. I expect to see a lot of Plague Doctor costumes at Dragon Con this year. So speaking of Dragon Con, the reason I'm not going to Southern Fried Game Room / Vintage Computer Festival this year is it's so close to Dragon Con, and it's like a 5-hour drive for us. Is Is there any particular reason it's this late in the year this year? Is it just because you were still looking at COVID things and this can be earlier again, or is this kind of your new time?
Well, no, what happened this year is that the Southern Fried Gaming Expo folks had to coordinate with the hotel that they were at last year. It's the same place that they were going to do
Okay.
last year. It's near the Galleria, so it's right near 75, 285, that intersection. So it's over closer to the Braves field. If anybody here knows Atlanta, maybe that gives at least a little landmark. Uh, but so when they rescheduled it, they didn't want to go too early because the concern was, when is COVID going to be over? When is
Hmm.
all this stuff going to happen? So they went a little later. Normally they are, I think it's June, July sort of thing.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier. And I'm hoping that next year we'll switch back to that time.
Good.
We're
Good.
hoping
Good.
that this will be an ongoing thing. We're trying it this year. We were trying to do it last year. Um, so we're hoping that, co-locating these two shows will be good for both, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, it will.
We thought that there's enough overlap. We had spoken with them a number of times about having either an exhibit or something, and the museum, which we're still great fans of here in town, it just was a hard place to get to and to coordinate with them. They're trying to get the museum going as a sustainable business, which makes perfect sense. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. To make it work, you've got to do that. And we kind of have a different focus. Our focus is more getting people exposed to vintage computers. Why people like them, why we fix them up, why we keep them running, and all the fun games, and a new generation, kind of what's going on with it. Is a slightly different focus. We're not trying to make money at it, right? Our goal is to
Right. Right.
how many people we can get
But
exposed.
I definitely think you're going to get a lot more people coming in to see your side of things that are coming for the games, and then they're like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" I think it's going to be great for y'all.
Well, we thought it was a really good synergy, achieved between the two
Hmm.
groups. We thought, hey, this would be good. They've wanted us to come and do something for them, and so we're always excited about that. When people want you to be there and really are excited about it, that tends to help make the decision a little easier. And like I said, I think it'll work out better for us with a pretty much guaranteed higher attendance. That we think is going to help us get more people excited. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Awesome. So what do people have to look forward to this year? What are some of the
Well, there's
exhibits and speakers?
yeah, we've got two movies we're going to be able to show during our in the speaker rooms or stuff. One is Viva Amiga. It's the extended mix. We have permission from the producer to.
Hey, Earl, can you get a little closer to your microphone?
Here, let me try this. Okay, does that sound better?
Much better.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so this year we have two movies that we're going to get a chance to play. One is Viva Amiga, the extended mix. We talked to producers. We've had conversations with them in the past. So they released an extended mix, and so we're going to show that, which is a really great documentary on Amigas, obviously. And then we've also got a movie. David Grealich, who's one of our members, has been working on an Apple Lisa
Yeah.
documentary. And he's going to do an extended preview. He's really working on it. Maybe it'll be done by the show, maybe not. We'll leave that as kind of a surprise to see what happens. But he's going to preview that, at least a closer to being finalized version. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of David recently just to see how he has been doing. So I'm glad that he's going to be involved with that.
Yeah, he's going to have a little exhibit. He's one of our exhibitors as well. He's been doing a lot of stuff during this past COVID year. It's been pretty crazy for him. So he's been working on that, and that's been a little bit challenging. And makes it all challenging trying to finish a documentary. Luckily, he had most of the footage, I think, already in the interviews. then we've speaker-wise, we've got one virtual, which we were hoping to have otherwise, but Joe's coming. Blanket on his last name now. I always do this. He's a big. Pardon me, Joe, but he's a big Amiga. He did Amiga and the Atari 400, 800, and the Atari 2600. He was an engineer for Atari during that time, and we've spoken to him before about coming, and he was going to come out, but his wife's going through chemo, and that definitely takes priority. I mean, that's really a number one thing to do. But he's gracious enough allowed us to try to figure out a way to do it virtually, and so he's going to come and talk to us. And all these are up, by the way. If you go to the Southern Fried Gaming Expo website, they have all the speakers, all the exhibits. That's a central place to find everything for both shows. But you can also go to the VCF Ed page where it normally is and get the same information. But he'll become speaking. We've got Boise Pete, which I think you guys might know as well. Boise's a Coco guy. He's written a book, Coco, the Underdog Computer or something like that is the title. But a really interesting guy. He's going to come and speak one session about transplanting a CPU in a retro computer. That's kind of the little blip he gave. And I'm not really, I think it's like a different CPU, so I'm kind of puzzled as to what the experiment was and how it did. And it's very mysterious. I've looked at the description and he's just left it a little vague. It's kind of this little mysterious topic. So that's when it's piqued my interest. Brian Stewart, who used to be a member, so he moved up to up northeast. He's going to talk about is it the ENIAC? 75 years, I guess it's the ENIAC.
Yes.
Is this year. It's one of the anniversaries. I was trying to think which one it was. Wasn't
it's 75.
Yes, it turned 75. And so he's a bit of an expert on this in the sense of understanding what all it did, how the processing worked. He's built a complete replica of the room in a virtual sort of environment. It's just he's had an exhibit before, and each year it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he has 3D printed models that he's done of how it looks. He's sent me at least a little bit of work, at least a chapter or two, I think it is, of a book he's working on long term on this. And this is actually really one of his emphasis while he teaches up at Drexel. What this is and the history behind it all. So he's going to be really cool. He's a really cool guy, and he knows it. I've sat and talked with him a couple times, and it's like one of those. He has a passion about it, and it's really, really, really kind of cool. Let's see, and I think we have 5 total. I think that's it. David's movie, Viva Amiga, Joe, Brian. Yep. That's it.
Nice.
Those are the ones we've got now. There's a bunch of other speakers that are coming for Southern Fried Gaming. They've got a bunch of speakers and things going on as well. So these will be interspersed. You have to look at the schedule there on the show to figure out what's when. I think the Viva Amiga, that may not be up there yet because I still owe them some of the blurb on it because that was the last thing that came in for us. But that'll be on Friday, I believe.
So I'm assuming as like years in the past, you're also going to have things like where you're going to have the individual fan tables, like in the past, which are always just as fun as the speakers because seeing some other people's collections and what projects they're working on is always a lot of fun. I know you're probably
we'll have kids. We may not have soldering this year just because of space to start with, and also, to be honest, a little COVID concern came in there because you work very close together with folks. Really close, sure. And so we said, well, maybe we'll save that for the next year. We'll try to do this year. And we're in one of the larger ballrooms that's right off registration, so we should be easy for everybody to find. Great. In terms of how the setup is. But yeah, we've got, I I had one person cancel with the medical changes, which is perfectly fine. I get that. Everybody has to make that choice. Um, so I still have a few tables left, but I suspect they'll fill back up. But we've got uh, just a mixed match of everything. We've got a Doomland. We've got a bunch of Macintosh stuff going to be there. We've got some people doing stuff on that. We've got Jim Steiner, one of our favorites, who did tic-tac-toe machine. It's something he built.
Right. Yep.
Like
Yep.
in the 50s, I think it was, out of relays. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen that there before. Yeah. That's you can hear it across the room. Yes. Yeah.
We've got some new people doing some stuff. We've got a guy that's going to demonstrate a bunch of MIDI stuff, which actually is going to be interesting. Also, some music, different kind of music sound.
Nice.
We've got a number of rare TI things. For some reason, this year TI, we had a lot of people that were interested. We've got one of our members who got a TI 99-2. Now, it wasn't one I had heard of before. He has, the whole kind of collection of different TI stuff, but apparently TI was working on a new model to compete with, like, the Sinclair, and they produced it. They got to the point where they actually had some units out, and this came from, if I remember this right from what John told me, a sales rep or something up in Canada, and it'll be an exhibit there, which is, I think, definitely a unique thing that if you're a TI fan, especially, you'll have never seen this, or you might have heard rumors of this kind of, like, Yeti sort of computer that wanders the hills of the Canadian space. But he's got it working. It uses a very similar ROM to what was in the others. So, and it was supposed to be a price killer, how cheap the Sinclair was. And but the problem was, by that point, the TI was selling for about that price. By the time they got to that point, so prices kind of crossed. I guess it would have been at least a more sustainable thing for TI, because theirs was a whole lot more expensive.
Well, great. It sounds like it's going to be a very fun time. Now, this is happening, in about 2 weeks, right? This is
August 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So it's that weekend.
And what's costs? What else do you need to know for if you're going to attend?
If you're going to show up, you have the option of buying a 1, 2, or 3 day pass. That is up on the show. I think the 3 day pass is like $70. I know it's not cheap, but the day passes are all pretty reasonable. And you've got pinball machines, you've got video games, you've got board gaming. It's crazy, just the amount of stuff you're going to do, and the amount of square footage is going to be just humongous. They even have wrestling. Now, I'm not a huge fan of wrestling, but they actually do some sort of wrestling thing, and I've seen some pictures on the site, and it looks, like the '70s masked wrestlers sort of thing.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that sounds fun.
How that got included in there, but somehow they.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They have wrestling at Dragon Con every year too, and we don't know why, but
yeah, I'm not sure why wrestling. Maybe it's a southern thing. I was born in the north, but I'm not sure if it's what is it cultural, or where it came from, or why people think add wrestling to every sort of show, but apparently it happens. But it looks like fun. It looks like a lot of we're going to have consignment like we normally do, so people be able to find, if they're looking for parts or a computer or things, there'll be a number of things available. We've got shirts and different sort of geeky sort of stuff coming on, stickers and the like. We have they're going to have 2 I won't say flea markets, but they're going to have 2 times
like the swap tables, right?
Well, it's not a swap table. It's more of they actually have a bunch of, one day it's all pinball parts. Some buttons and things like that. So
man,
need to fix up stuff like that. They got that. They have another one, and I'm not quite sure what the theme of it is, but I think it might be board other things as well. So they have 2 sessions, but those are only for a limited time window. So check the calendar for that if you want to do that. The hotels there's still some, I think, rooms available at the secondary hotel, but first one is all sold out. in terms of the blocks that have the, show discount for the hotels. So a lot of people will be staying there for the whole time. We're only going to be open until 8 each night, just to give us a chance to. I know my feet usually by the end of these things need a little bit of rest. So,
Yeah.
3 days till midnight, I think is going to be just a lot for me.
Yes.
And they said, we can close it a little bit. So we opened 3 to 8 on Friday, 10 to 8 on Saturday, and it's a little shorter on Sunday. It's 10 to, I think it's 3 or 4. Again, this is all, go out to the Southern Fried SFGE, I think it's sfge.org is the website. I don't have it up here right this second, but I'm pretty sure that's the thing. It has all the information you can get from there to our website. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this one's at actually gameatl.com.
Game,
Where I'm getting this. Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of links that come in together. They're all over the place, and we're posting stuff every day in social media. If you follow any the Atlanta Historical Computing Group or VCF SC, both of those in Twitter and Facebook have the information as well. So, but if you look at the calendar, everything's there. I don't know if we're under vendors or where we're under.
If you go under event, you can scroll down.
There you
go.
There you go.
Logo.
There you go. And there's the speakers and.
Joe, what's Joe's name? I'm just so I don't.
Oh, Joe.
All the way to the left.
I don't know how to pronounce it. DECUIR.
Decuir. Thank you.
Decuir. Okay.
It was going to bother me all day, Joe Decuir. But Joe's a great guy, and like I said, he's going to have some really interesting history there. I mean, the 2600. What was interesting, we thought it might be a good fit for this show because gaming 2600. Obviously, that was a pretty big, just a pretty decent sized home video game, and so he should be working on that. So, and I might sneak out a couple things I've been working on. I was telling John about the clear Apple II that I'm working on.
Oh, that's right. Don't you need some parts from John?
Yep. I'll be bringing you some parts.
I got the clear drive cases. I've got the clear case itself, keyboard coming. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only bought one of the drive cases, which already came in, but I'm looking forward to helping you get some parts so you can populate yours.
I just hate to destroy a good working machine too.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, I have some other parts, but I don't have any 2E stuff. So I thought, and I got the factory second drive cases that need a little bit of sanding apparently.
Yeah, but they're not bad still. Yeah, I missed out on the pristine ones, but the second, it still looks great.
I figured it just took a little tiny bit of work to get to, but I thought that would be it. COVID has definitely helped me make some progress on a number of my projects. I've got my Tandy Model 100 working, so that is a fun thing. One of those. It's like a laptop. It was like one of the first laptops.
Sure. Yeah.
Keyboard with just a little LED screen.
The little tiny, right.
I have the add-on to ready for this. I can run CPM on that now. Who would think you'd run CPM on a Model 100? But they've had other releases, and a lot of the group has been working on a lot of nice projects. Again, because you're in and you got time, you're kind of stuck at home. I save a couple hours each day commuting, and so that has tended to be
right. Yeah, free time. Yeah. Well, I look forward to hopefully getting to see you all next year in person, and I will see you beginning of September when I hand off a bunch of Apple II e-parts to you. So, Earl, thank you.
I think other shows are coming up this year, so we've already had West, but East is coming up. If you're up in the Northeast, and also the Chicago show, I'll be up to the Chicago show with a bunch of more folks if you haven't made it.
Nice.
Another great show. And I always try to talk about those because you don't have to worry about coming all the way to here in Atlanta. Though we do have somebody coming from San Jose this year. Go figure. He'd been to the West show and he decided to come to one of the East ones. That happens on a regular basis. But, some people can make it from one to the other. But if you can't, look in your neighborhood because there's always another one coming up. And there's sometimes one that's a little bit closer and you may not have even thought about it. So
great.
Keep going.
All right. Thanks a lot, Earl.
Thanks, Earl.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah,
That
I
was
was
great. That
looking
was
through the
great. It's going to be
website.
a fun time. Yeah.
It's the pricing to attend is it varies by day, and of course you can get a 3-day
Uh-huh.
pass. But I mean that includes everything, including everything the
Yeah,
Southern
right.
Fried
Everything,
Game
and the
Expo
games are
has
all
to
free to
offer.
play. Yeah. All
So
the arcade games and pinball machines are just, you walk up
yeah,
and play 'em.
I gotta imagine it's gonna be a little overwhelming. So you've attended the gaming expo before, right?
Yes. Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
usually, yeah, you
Uh-huh.
have attended that. So yeah, so you know what to expect or something like that as well. So all right, well, it's a shame neither of us will be there.
Yeah,
Next year.
yeah.
Next year
Next
we'll
year,
have to plan
and
on next
all
year.
right, so the other sad thing is I am, the last couple of years I did a marathon setup,
Yeah.
which was awesome and a lot of fun, but if I
Oh
do it
yeah, I
again,
remember.
it's only going to be laptops because
Yeah.
plastic has gotten too brittle for me to be able to move like the 5500s and stuff around,
Mm-hmm.
or go tower wise and some LCD screens or something, because yeah, it's gotten too bad to try
Yeah.
to do that. So it may just be laptops, like some Pismos and tie books and stuff like that to do marathon.
Right. Right. All right. You want to record the outro?
Yeah, let's do it. What are we doing next week?
I do not know. I don't know. We'll work on it during the week, I guess. All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, we did manage to get Earl on the line. Give us a nice preview of everything that's going to happen at VCF SE 8.0, which will run concurrently, conjunction with Southern Fried Gaming Expo. So a lot of retro goodness to be had the weekend of August 20th in Atlanta. Next week we'll be back with something that's to be determined. We often do that. We don't plan that far ahead. Sometimes stuff just comes up and happens, and you just jump on it. Otherwise, we have some old standby things we like to do. Maybe we'll do that. Dig into some time capsule kind of material. John, you got any projects you're working on right now?
I unfortunately no.
No.
No,
Okay.
nothing retro. I'm still messing around with my 3D printer,
Yeah.
trying to get my Blender skills up to snuff, so I can do
Uh-huh.
some more. Try to do, but yeah, that's nothing for out
But what would be
here
the
right
next?
now.
What would that contribute to the next project for? What do you need the 3D
Well,
printer
I
to
mean,
work
all
on?
right. So going back to my clear case, if you look at
Yeah.
my the slots I have in here, I've got, see the color on the slots where I've got the 6 color. Here, let me pop the top off.
Oh yeah, I remember you did.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've
Yep.
I've got filament of all 6 apple colors now,
Uh
and I
huh.
want to do covers for those that are 3D printed that slip on
Oh.
versus the vinyl.
Ah.
So that is why I'm trying to, and that should be a fairly simple
Mm-hmm.
thing in 3D. So it should be a good starter project.
Yeah. Well, that'll be nice. All
Yeah,
right. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week. And until then, remember, it's not old.
it's retro. So somebody in the comments. Oh, Patrick's worried about the 5400 back here. It's actually on a chair, so it's nice and stable where it is. This is actually, James, is the one I got from you.
Uh huh.
So I just don't have table space for it right now. So, but it is stable where it is, so it's okay.
Ron, I guess, got IDOS before it got taken off the App Store.
Ah, very nice.
Did it
So
get
here's
removed yet? Yeah.
it occurred to me it would have been, actually, I should have tried to download it and then tried to run the mini VMac for DOS in it. Would have been kind of a fun thing to try.
VMac for DOS. How
Yeah.
does that work?
Well, there
It
was a
would
DOS
work.
version of VMac,
Oh,
so it'd be an
okay.
emulator in an emulator, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That would be cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, joining us in the chat. We kind of rolled through the episodes. I know we didn't get to interact as much with the chat room as we normally do. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. So we got wound up in discussions with Earl. All right. Well, I guess we're good to go. John, you have a good week.
All good. Yeah.
We'll see you next week. We'll talk
See you
about what
next
we're going
week.
to talk about.
Right.
And everybody,
Everyone,
for joining
have
us.
a great time. Thanks for tuning in. Absolutely.
Is Blondie Wan going to VCF?
I think Joe is. I think
Joe?
they're getting ready to go. Yep, Blondie one is Joe. I think they're getting ready to go to a gaming convention, as in like board games. So,
So they're not.
think
So
that's when I
he's
talked to him
not
the
going.
other day.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think so. I could be wrong.
Okay. All right.
Joe, talk to me. If
All
he
right.
does go, then we'll have to get him on to talk about the live experience.
Yeah.
After he does it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.